Hi, I'm Deanna Hensley. I am the Vice President of Customer Success for IPX, which is the Institute for Process Excellence. We're an organization with a 35-year history of training and services in business process improvement. We have an organizational change management arm as part of the IPX services division, which we branched out into a sister company known as Envision Rise. And our goal for Envision Rise was to implement OCM and diversity, equity, and inclusion throughout other organizations. So we started the organization in November of 2020. So when we started the organization, the diversity, equity, and inclusion industry was getting exposure, whether that was negative or not, because of the murder of George Floyd. It was important and it needed to be impactful. And we had been doing this work already as IPX. And so we felt like it was really important for our services and our training to have a brand and to become its own organization, to stand out separately. Actually, I've been with IPX since 2017. I started doing business engagement with them before I became VP of Customer Success. So under my organization, I do marketing, branding, communications. So it's a little bit of, customer success. Generally, we think of that life cycle of the customer or solving issues. And since we're not a software organization, we are training and services. I support that training life cycle, and I support the services side as well. And so for me, this was already a vision of our presidents. And we have Stacey Hegarty, who's our VP of Equity and Inclusion for Envision Rise, with a history of anthropology. So this was a passion already within the organization. So I naturally fell into it as part of the company. And it was really just a byproduct of continuing our mission, I think, from IPX in the more side of the business that was focused on engineering and processes and innovation, and shifting that to how we can apply it to people. Even though we have a 35-year history as IPX, Envision Rise essentially was a startup company. And as I mentioned, because we were coming into our own at a time that was really vital for organizations to understand their people and care for their people, and open their eyes to how empowering diversity and inclusion and equity can be, we had branding, we needed a website, we needed a way to get that word out, and we needed a way to get that word out where people came and automatically understood our mission. So that was how we had gotten engaged with Jenny initially, because she had created a website for our conference. Our annual conference is IPX. So we're repeat customers. So when we started Envision Rise, we went to Jenny naturally to have someone who could give us a unique design based on our perspective and our goals. We had a relationship with Jenny. With the new Envision Rise website, kind of started that process all over again. So it was my team, which is myself, our president, Joseph Anderson, and our director of sales and marketing processes, Susan Lishamanat. And we met with Jenny, and Jenny brought some of her designers on. And so they gave us a space where we could talk about who we were, who we are, and what our vision and what our goals are for the website, what we do. And then Jenny's team provided a proposal. They're very flexible. It's really essentially based on your customer needs. And then following that, when it came to actually starting the design, Jenny's team came up with a lot of unique options. So we didn't look like just another basic website. They were visually engaging, and they really understood what our mission was for Envision Rise. So following our design, once they showed us a few designs, we found one, we loved it, we picked it. So it gave us an opportunity to collaborate with her team. So we felt like we were very involved. And moving forward, her designers would we would meet weekly to see what the updates were. And that was essentially the process until we released it. I think the process for Envision Rise was anywhere from 4 to 5 months. And Jenny's team was willing to work as soon as possible. And it was really up to what were the requirements of our website. And we needed a ticketing system, and that was something that had to be added on, and we needed some specifics coming from a website that didn't have all the capabilities, and they understood that. Google Ads, Google Analytics, kind of your standard for website review. And what's been amazing about the Envision Rise website is it gets great traffic. And not only does it get great traffic, but it's actually the main driver of lead generation for our organization. And we regularly get people who respond to the website and we say, how did you find out about us? And they say, well, we just loved your website. And so that's been a huge plus for us. With our main organization, IPX, we breathe technical jargon. So I have just, fake it till you make it. You learn it, you do it, you read it, you do it. And if it's repeated, it's important, right? So I was able to understand that with Jenny. And I think with the technical jargon piece, I didn't find anything that they provided to be confusing. I don't feel like at any time Jenny's team wasn't able to translate exactly what they were doing to us in a way that we understood. Our big thing, I think, that surprised us the most was how much feedback we got from the website and how much of a lead gen driver that became. I mean, because websites are always a good lead gen, but it seemed like this website really stood out and it really made a difference for us. Jenny was a recommendation for us through another training organization. And since IPX is a training organization, we saw their website and we just really loved the functionality. We really loved how easy it was to use. And they recommended us to Jenny and her team. And Jenny's also a women-owned minority business, and that was a big deal for us, especially for what we do at Envision Rise. And so we wanted that to be something we made an investment in. That was a partner we thought was important. And Jenny worked on our annual conference. Like I mentioned, she created a small website for the conference. It was word of mouth from a trusted partner. And it wasn't just comfortability. It was that we knew her team was going to get us. They knew what our requirements were going to be. And so we've continued to use them not only for the Envision Rise website, but for a rebuild of our IPX website, which is still in the works. Right off the top of my head, I'm going to say design. They had a very unique sense of design. They have a very obviously thorough knowledge of the market. And the level of capability, if we had an idea, we presented it to Jenny's team, and they knew how to execute it. And they knew how to execute it in a way that was easy for us to be able to use on our own once they let us free and it was our website. So that was huge for us. I think functional capabilities, a variety of options. They have given us, especially for the new IPX website, several themes and layouts. So the website stays fresh, it stays new, and it always has a nice look to it. They have a great team. They've been incredibly flexible for us. I had to take a couple months out earlier this year, which put us a little behind, and Jenny was completely understanding of that. And they've been easy to work with. Like I said, they have a lot of thoughtful ideas. They're creative, and their follow through is great. And they understand the user experience for a website. So I would definitely recommend them to someone else. Always, yeah. IPX is look out for the new website that Jenny's team is creating. So that's huge. But we're a global organization and we offer a methodology that's called CM2. So it is basically a blueprint for organizations from ideation through decommission to offer true traceability of their products. So we are always giving companies a way to reduce risk and go to market faster and prevent recalls. And so on top of that, we have services for digital transformation. That's not just upcoming, but that's a rotating thing we've been doing for 35 years. And in Envision Rise, we do have our training that will be released soon on the Rise Academy. So that's actually a virtual LMS platform. Which is fantastic. So we'll have some immediate on-demand of our material available worldwide for students looking for some diversity, equity, and inclusion training.